Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Reliability BoomBox. I hope you've all been well. We had a little bit of a week off, but we're back at it. And I hope you enjoyed a little chat with Mr. Jed Andrews. He certainly did enjoy it, and feedback from other people who have listened to it has been good. So welcome again, Seven. Good to have you back.
Oh, thank you.
Like always. This week, I'm kind of we're sitting here having a little think, and I like to keep these as fireside random chats along the way. But Sologic, let's talk a little bit about Sologic, and let's talk a little bit about RCAs. Last week we spoke a bit more about solver and machine learning as such. But let's have a little bit more of a chat about RCA. So give us a couple of examples of what lessons you've learnt in the last few months. Because I know in the last couple of months you've facilitated a couple of RCA, a couple of big ones. Correct. That obviously we can't talk too much about. But what are some of the key learnings that you've had in the last couple of months?
There's basically two that come to mind straight up. One, engaging the team. I've had a couple of RCAs where we've had the aha moments, if you want to call it that, the aha moments. And the team's engaged. They actually understand the problem. They understand what's caused the problem and are on board with the solution. So, that's one of the big things. And I'm just constantly amazed because I get to work with all different varying types of people through various industries, and I'm just constantly amazed with how well we use Sologic, or have been using Sologic. But let's take the Sologic aside, but a formal or a structured method of problem solving. So
framework,
you get that engagement.
Solid framework. Yeah. Awesome. And the engagement from the feedback that before you dive into that, the thing that I really heard from you was that with a bunch of other people in the room often having a different view, it was easy to get a story from one person and another story from another, and in certain situations they would stick to their story. Yet with keeping engagement from everyone, they actually took the time to listen to the other stories and the other views and the other opinions, perspectives, and it opened up to a more open conversation, which allowed that aha to sink in at some point in time for everyone else. That's right.
Everyone's walking out of there on the same page, which is awesome.
Yeah.
No worries.
So number two. What's your number two?
Number two. I'm going to say creativity.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is the word. And I'm going to come back up. I'm going to come back up here to the Sologic method, and the Sologic method, talking about the hierarchy of controls, where you've got administrative type controls here, where PPE is down the bottom, and then we've got elimination, substitution, engineering. So the creativity that I've in this space here around around this elimination, substitution, and engineering, and some of the out of the box thinking, and some of the permanent solutions, right? Because when you start talking in this space up here, you're talking about permanent solutions, because in simple terms down here, you're sort of trying to control the in the administrative side of things, you're trying to control humans and human behavior, and and I know, and probably our audience knows that's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Some people might say it's like trying to herd cats. But anyway, the opportunity or the ideas that I've seen recently in this space, and I'm not talking about large cost ideas. I'm talking about things where people can, get really, what would you say? They're creative solutions with things that they can do themselves, if you know what I mean. Creative solutions with things that they can do themselves. Right? So one was like rewiring something. Easy as that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Being
electrical. and they'll go, oh, that's pretty cool. Can you actually do that? Ones. Yeah. Can you actually do that? Well, yeah. And and the gentleman then went and explained his ideas, and everyone goes, wow, we should try that. That's awesome. Like, and again, we're back up up at the engagement piece. So, and by doing the RCA with everyone in the room, okay, it allows that creativity to flow. And I think the other piece to it is that you've got multiple brains, right, working on the same problem at once.
Yeah.
And it's and I, I'm still to this day, I'm going to say amazed how well it actually works. it just works, and some of the solutions is awesome.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that I've witnessed as well and really can appreciate about it. I've certainly worked in environments, and like you said, being an electrician and being someone that's come from being on the tools, worked a way through, like you'll see as a tradesman, sometimes you don't get as much respect. An engineer says, no, we'll do this. And you're like, well, that's a bit silly. That's not very practical when we could do this, this or this. And they're like, no, we'll just do this. And so as tradesmen, they lose their enthusiasm to be creative.
Yes.
And I feel that with a framework like this, it's actually empowering people to continue with that creativity.
Oh, I love that word.
Empower. So
yes, I totally agree.
Giving the tradesmen, even the young engineers, like so often when you're fresh out of uni or fresh on the tools, you're excited, you want to do well. We get into these fields because we want to change things. We want to create things. We want to invent things.
Yes.
But then you talk to some of the older tradesmen that are in their 40s or 50s, and they're like, nah, just don't even bother. You just do it because that's how they say to do it. And it's like, don't try, because they've had that knocked out of them as such. And I think these tools actually empowers the workforce to engage in the problem solving process. Absolutely. To actually participate, feel like they're being heard, allow their creative aspects, views and opinions to show up. And because it is a welcomed, well facilitated environment where every viewpoint is expressed, then that creative actually gets heard. And the managers and the other engineers go, oh, wow, okay, you can do that. And they don't feel like they're, I guess when you play on that human card again a little bit, often you'll see that engineers will feel like, and again, this is just from a tradesman's perspective, because I've been in that shoe, engineer will feel like they have to have the answer. When this actually allows the engineer to be vulnerable and human and have a little bit of humility and go, well, I don't have the answer. Sometimes a tradesman has the answer and I can respect that. And a good facilitator and a good engineer will respect that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And they will actually respect that view.
Yeah. And I think coming back to the multiple brain thing, working on the one problem, Sorry, I drew the problem over there, but here's the problem here. Each one of these brains has had a different life experience. Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know,
100%,
the barrier to solving the problem, right? If this is the solution on this side, and there was a barrier put up, it could be your individual experience if you're trying to solve this problem, okay? And you keep on hitting the barrier and the problem reoccurs and all that sort of stuff. By having multiple brains work on the same problem, right? The barriers come down because of that difference in experience.
Yeah,
I've seen this elsewhere. Totally. This is how we do it. I've seen this elsewhere. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah. So I think that's really exciting, and that's one thing that I can say I can really appreciate about the RCA framework and having a problem-solving investigation process to actually help navigate, sort through, and create sustainable solutions that are engaging of a whole team, that are breaking down those barriers. Yeah. Well, I think that's awesome. I think that's two great realizations and things that you've had in the last couple of months that have, for someone like yourself that's been doing this for many years, to have experienced and to witness and see that it's still changing. And I guess it's a bright light for industry as well. Like the industries that we work in, sometimes they are very much that's how we've done it and we don't want to change. I feel like the reality is that we're ever changing. The only constant is change.
The only constant is change. That's right. Yeah. And coming back to the engagement piece, right? Back up here to the engagement piece, point number one. If a organisation wants to change, okay, and there's a number of problems to solve around that change, what a great way of bringing people on board because you've engaged them in the solution. They've effectively come up with a solution as a team. Hey, everyone, we have this problem. I got to start. Problem. We have this problem, right? How can we solve it? Right? Ask the question. How can we solve it?
Yeah.
And who's going to be the ones that are going to be the most accepting of the solution is the ones that have developed it.
Exactly. It's one of the biggest things. I think you and I talked about this when we were studying business at uni. But one of the biggest challenges is you try and create change in an organisation. You need to empower the people on the floor that are going to be affected the most by the change to have a say in the solution.
That's right.
I think you can, like we've discussed in the past, whilst RCAs are regularly assigned to incidences or such as injuries, spills, failures, cost in business revenue, like a major breakdown of production or something like that.
Yeah.
If you've had just a really shitty year, for lack of a better word,
yes,
you could actually go through the framework, use an RCA framework with all your team, and facilitate a little RCA and go, hey, let's just brainstorm, spitball the potential problems.
Solution.
And work our way through this. The solution. Brainstorm the causes to identify a potential solution so that next year we can just do damn well better.
And I know I know through Sologic globally that this, by the name Reliability BoomBox, we're talking about nominally reliability of plant and equipment. Okay, but the Sologic process is being applied in the financial services industry. Nothing to do with physical assets whatsoever. It's financial services.
Yeah.
Okay? And problem solving in something that us as engineers, may struggle to relate to because it's nothing physical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the answer is yes. Just think outside the square. It can be applied to any sort of problem, whether it's, a physical problem with a piece of plant or equipment, or, a process has failed from a production point of view, to, all the way through to something that's happening in the financial services industry. They've had a problem in the financial services industry. How do we solve it? They're just using this structured process to do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you. I thought we'd make tonight a little bit short and sweet, but I think that's two great examples of what can come of RCAs and how they can actually involve and engage the entire team, and the creativity that can come from that. And also that it doesn't necessarily have to be in the mechanical side of things or in the physical world. It can be the numbers and the finances and even health, structures and stuff like that, and people behaviours. But awesome. Thank you very much, Seven, for your time. I appreciate you. As always, anyone, please leave comments. Let's leave comments, subscribe, and give us feedback. It's always welcome. So thank you very much, and see you next week.
You better tell everyone where you are, mate. You're in far north Queensland at a Wi-Fi hotspot. I am in far north Queensland, so at a Wi-Fi hotspot known as a local pub. So do excuse the background noise that has gone on. And yes, they are starting to close up, so I will be going now. But thank you, everyone. We will talk again soon.